catching fish post-frontal weather. Let's say you have some weather come through and there's a lot of rain dumped on you really quick. A lot of people get discouraged, and to be honest, most believe you can't catch fish after that. And yes, the fish do kind of scatter sometimes, but there are a few things that are going to help you find the fish. You need to know, on your particular body of water, you need to know where the water comes in and where the water drains out. The fish are typically going to nestle up in those areas. So be mindful of that. And when you're picking your lures, you need to stick to something that resembles the bait fish they feed on. A lot of times, if you have ponds that drain into each other, find a drainage tube, and you can throw frogs right there by the drainage tube, and the fish will hit it, because it hits the water and assimilates like a frog falling through the tube. You can do that with Senkos as well. In lakes, it's a little different. You're going to have creeks and streams and ditches that run in, and then you're going to have a dam overflow. Whether the dam water runs actually over the dam or if it has an actual drain tube or a pump house, the fish are going to nestle in those areas. Two types of lures I like to use are going to be a lipless crankbait. I prefer the red-eye shad because it's a sinking bait. Gives a nice vertical presentation. When you drop it down, it doesn't roll over on its side. They stay, vertical. I'm going to post a couple clips after I show you a map and what I'm talking about of me catching fish on my two favorite lures, a rooster tail and a lipless crankbait. If the water's murky, try to go with a noisier lure. It's going to help. Square bills, they're great. Depends on the vegetation you're in, but square bills work well. I like to use the lipless sinking crankbaits because of the fact that I can find a fish in a column of water and approximately by time get in that area and get on the fish. So I'm going to show you a quick few clips of a map, ideas of what I'm talking about, and then I'm going to post two fish that I'm just going to post two fish because I didn't have a lot of time for this video because I'm still sorting through my Minnesota footage. Okay, so now I'm going to show you on a map kind of what I'm talking about. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see this, but this is the reservoir I fished. It's the Hamilton Reservoir near Hamilton, Missouri. It's a really good fishery. Lots of nice bass in here. Now where I will be in the video is over here along this bank, and the reason why is because this is the dam, and it's a overflow dam, so it just flows over this concrete barrier and down into the Tom Creek. And now this is a choke point, so what you can do is you can use this to your advantage. A lot of times fish are going to hang out on points, but with it being that the water is flowing real heavily, they're going to hang out closer to the vegetation here. So you have those options. Now if that doesn't work for you, try to find somewhere where the water is flowing in. Now Tom Creek feeds into this lake here at the top. This is actually by hole 2 on the golf course. Can't really get to it, but this is just an example. There's a little bridge over here. What's going to happen is this water is going to be flowing in from Tom Creek, and it's going to wash minnows and things of that nature in. So the bass might be collected in this area as well. And note that if the water is running really heavily, you can get away with some top water. But Senkos, if the water's real, if the wind's calm, will work pretty well here. But swim baits, use swim baits, things of that nature. Sometimes jerk baits, even though most people use them when their fish are a little more lethargic, will work really well in this area. You'll see here there's another ditch. This is actually a ditch and a drainage from another pond. The fish will collect here as well, trying to collect on bait fish. Now you'll notice here on the map that there is a stream going out and then it meets here. This is actually another drainage area from the lake. So what'll happen is if this pond up here gets overfilled, it drains down into the lake. But if the lake overfills, it drains down into this. So the fish will hang out back here as well. There's a lot of vegetation. using frogs in high water will tend to yield pretty good results if there's a lot of vegetation. Stick to 3 things if you can. Try to stick to lures that mimic the bait fish they're eating, and if you can, get to the frogs. Frogs work really well, and go from there. Now I'm gonna have a couple fish here coming up. I'm just gonna show you some footage. I didn't have a whole lot of time for this because I'm still sorting through the Minnesota footage, like I said earlier. But I'm also going to give you a couple fish to show you that you can catch fish during post-frontal. We just had 10 inches of rain in the past 5 days. There's this way to start it. Post-frontal fishing's bad. Yeah. It ain't that bad. Just gotta understand how fish move. Barely hooked. Healthy looking fish right there. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Come on. That's a good one there, guys. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. No. That's a nice fish, folks. That is a nice fish. And this is what happens with post-frontal fishing if you know what you're doing. Hello to my little friend. Good fish. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.